I left a six-figure corporate career in sales to start a Christian beauty brand. So let's talk about it. This video is long overdue, long overdue. Okay, I've been avoiding it, but let's dive in. So for the past 15, 16 years, I've been in sales, working different capacities. When I first started, I was a sales executive. I worked my way up the ranks until I reached VP of sales and marketing. And I say that in air quotes because I don't really care about titles, but just to give you a sense of kind of what I achieved throughout the course of my career. I was overseeing a team of account executives, a remote international team, and at the leadership or corporate level, what sales looked like for me is coming up with go-to market strategies at some of the startups that I worked for. So it's essentially building sales out of nothing. Like, how do we get the brand out there? What's the messaging? What are our differentiators from our competitors? And just figuring out how to bring the money in, essentially. Now, in overseeing a team, it's also making sure that the individuals are hitting their numbers, the team as a whole are hitting our numbers, and as a sales, team or org, we are growing year over year. So that's the name of the game as far as, just getting out there and just selling. While I was helping these various companies build their company from the ground up, I always had this yearning or this burning to kind of start my own. And I never did because I was afraid, right? Like, who wants to walk away from a six-figure salary to go start their own thing? It's like you're leaving what's tried and true for something else that may not pan out. And let's keep it real. Most businesses don't see success. There is a high failure rate. And in all industries, like, why on earth beauty? Like, there's so many companies out there. It is a saturated market for sure. So all of the signs are pointing to, girl, you are crazy for wanting to go down this road. But anyway, as God often does, when you're in a situation that you should not be in or he's calling you out of, friction starts to build where there was none previously. And that's what I was seeing happening in my role is, the folks that I worked with day to day at the leadership level, there's friction all of a sudden, there's bumping of the heads, there's a lot of things going on politically. And it just became very clear to me that my time there was over. It's like it's spoiled milk. It's long past the expiration date and I need to keep it pushing. So I decided to just go all in and start this brand. And I'm very fortunate that my husband is incredible. And he said, listen, I want to support you. I know you can do it. You got this. Go ahead and just give it your all. I'd rather you focus on this 100% than to have your, attention divided in multiple things and then not see the success and end up regretting it. So as far as why, beauty and skincare, I have been a lifelong fan of skincare and cosmetics. If I had to rank between the two, I'd say for sure skincare first and then cosmetics second, simply because if the skin ain't right, the cosmetics ain't laying right either. Like, you have to care for your skin. I love the whole ritual aspect of just, cleansing, toning, whatever it is, just to really get your skin in its best shape. And on a personal note, throughout the course of my life, I've always had my finger on the pulse of what was like latest and trending and best, even before it was mainstream. I remember a time when hyaluronic acid wasn't a common name and it was new. Now you see it in everything. Peptides lately has been trending a lot. PDRN has been trending a lot on the, I'd say, K-beauty market. But there's so many advances and all of that I just throw myself at and I absolutely love. Now, about 10, 12 years ago, things shifted for me when I read an article, a medical journal, that stated that sunscreen was found in folks' blood samples and urine in high quantities, because as we know, our skin is an organ and whatever you place on your skin can be absorbed into the bloodstream. And not all of it is absorbed, right? You have like nanoparticles and it depends how small it is in order to be absorbed in the first place. But that was really alarming, because when you think about sunscreen, like, what do you lather on your children in the summer? You just load them up so they don't get burned. You're trying to do something loving for them, and meanwhile, it's getting in their bloodstream, and we don't really know the long-term impact of what that's doing. So when I heard that, I was like, man, this is insane. And that sparked my desire to go purely clean beauty. At the time, there weren't a ton of options out in the market in the way that there are today. I remember when Honest Beauty came out. Like, I remember like a lot of these brands kind of coming out and going the clean beauty route. And now we've made so many strides, and you have aisles dedicated to clean beauty. You have Sephora Clean, you have all these programs, EWG, blah, blah, blah. There's so much there that I'll dive into in another video. As you can see, I'm quite passionate about skincare and certainly cosmetics as well. But for me, it was a no-brainer when I wanted to start a brand, like which direction I would go in. I didn't want to start another clean beauty brand for the sake of having a clean beauty brand. I wanted to address a major pain point that's happening right now in the market and in our culture. And I'm just gonna come out and say it just very boldly. A lot of these brands, what they're marketing, what they're positioning, way back in the day, they were very subtle in their ways. Now it is overt. It is very overt in what they're doing and who that brand and what they're aligned with. A lot of what they're pushing is demonic. A lot of the propaganda and just the agenda, it's gone beyond just selling an effective product. Now it's, hey, you buy this product and you are coming into agreement and in alignment with our agenda and what it is that we're trying to push. So as a Christian, even if you take faith out of the equation, or just, Christianity out of the equation, just as a person, it just became very hard for me to keep supporting that which obviously was not just in alignment. It just didn't jive with me in any way, shape, or form. For those of you who may be aware, like the Balenciaga saga that was online, where they were using, these teddy bears wearing like S&M leather gear, and in the photography, some of the kids were wearing some of that like bondage or like the leather. Like what is that? And some folks like, oh, it's art. No, it is not art. It is demonic practices thinly veiled as art. And the problem is our society has become so desensitized to this that it's like, it's just shampoo, or it's just a foundation, or it's just this. It's not just a foundation. It is not just skincare. And if that's what you tell yourself, then I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, but it's more than just that. And where you put your money matters. And where you're putting your money should align with your belief systems. It should align with who you are as a person, and not just thrown away at the exchange of, I am giving you this money irrespective of how you use it, or irrespective of what you promote, just because I want a product that's effective. I like how this foundation looks on my skin. Like, it is just so shallow, and it's just super hard to support. So that is why when I decided to start a brand, I wanted it to be very clear who and what we are in alignment with. Christian beauty. That's how my mind worked. I'm like, I wasn't trying to be crafty. I wasn't trying to be anything other than, I want it to be so simple when somebody reads the name that they understand and know right off the cuff who we are and what we're about. Christian beauty. There's no ambiguity there, right? It is what it is. And if you want to support the brand, fantastic. If you're saying, hey, I can't jive with that, that's fine too. But that's kind of where the name came about. And that was my personal motivation, is I wanted to create a brand that I longed to support and couldn't find in the market. Now, that means a couple things. One, not that just it's Christian or it's faith-based, but one, that a brand is in alignment with good values, with all the things that I can support. And two, a brand that puts out good quality product. I cannot put enough emphasis on that. We have a lot of mom and pop brands, and I'm not trying to throw shade when I say this. There are a lot of, brands out there that are trying their best to build something, but the products just aren't there. The quality just isn't there. whether it's cosmetics, whether it's skincare. And what ends up happening is that your average person says, yeah, I think I'll try this clean makeup. Yes, I think I'll try this clean skincare. And they'll buy it. It doesn't perform as well as what they're used to buying and supporting. So then they give up on the idea of clean or holistic or whatever marketing buzzword you want to use, and just go back to supporting this other brand because it's tried and true, it's what they know, and it's reliable. So yes, we are a Christian brand, and yes, my huge priority is ensuring that every single product that we put out is worthy of the name. I don't want to put out product for the sake of putting out a product and then it fails miserably, or people hate it, or it just doesn't live up to the standard brands that are out there in the market, right? A foundation should perform. It should do all the things we want it to do. It should have longevity. It should not rub off on the skin or wear off an hour later. It should have hopefully some blurring capability, do the things that a foundation requires to do. And it hurts my heart sometimes because I love to support these smaller brands. I am a small brand, but if the product ain't great, it's like we're not helping the clean narrative. We're not helping the Christian agenda. We're not helping just by putting stuff out for the sake of putting stuff out. So I digress on that because I could have a whole video dedicated to that. And, I would just encourage folks, take a course, watch videos, do what you have to do, especially if you're making the product yourself, to put the best quality product out on the market. And if you are private labeling, that in and of itself is a struggle. I'm going to do a video on private labeling, kind of like the pluses and the minuses, and there's more minuses than pluses in my opinion. And hopefully it'll be helpful to someone who's starting a brand or trying to build something from scratch. But anyway, let me bring this video back. Let's reel it back in because I'm known for, deviating into other things. But yes, so long career in sales, decided to move away from that, gave it all up to start this Christian brand. And I've got to tell you, the way that God has showed up for this brand is incredible. Month one, I remember 2 or 3 sales, and you're like, okay. Month 2, it's slow. January of this year is when it really started picking up steam and turning into something where I'm like, okay, I can see the vision for sure. It is June 29th today. And I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be where I am now. Now I am still doing everything on my own. I don't have any employees. I don't have anybody helping me. So I'm making a lot of the formulas, packing, doing orders, and it is a lot. And I'm praying now. Please pray for me if you are a praying person, as far as what the next chapter looks like what is the next step the Lord wants me to take with this brand, and that it just grows in a way that is honoring to Him and also serves, the people. But we'll see. But it's grown, and He has just shown up. And I don't want to dive into it too much not because He doesn't deserve the glory. He deserves all the glory, but I don't want it to come across as bragging or whatever. It's none of that, because none of this would be possible if it weren't for Him pushing me, removing obstacles out of my path, me struggling. There's so much that has happened that I would love to share with you all at the right time that has allowed this to be what it's become. Thank you, Lord. But I'm just excited to see kind of, what happens next, how the brand grows. One of my biggest challenges, and I'll share this with you, is reserving and not jumping into a whole lot of different things. I'm like, I want to do this, or I want to come up with a concealer, or I want to do so much, but there just isn't enough time in the day to do it in such a way that is effective, or I'm doing it well, right? Like I said, I don't want to put out a product for the sake of putting out a product. I want to be able to create something, test it out, make sure that it's good, that it's vetted, and not make those kinds of mistakes. even if it means coming out with product a little bit slower, even though it does seem, right, like I've come out with so much in such a short time. But these are things that I've been working on and have been building quietly behind the scenes, and then you guys finally see it, and then it comes out like all at once, it seems. I need to be mindful of the time, because I will sit here for 30, 40, 50 minutes just jabbering, you know, people watching the video like, girl, I got stuff to do. But I didn't want to end it without saying a huge thank you. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported the brand so far. You don't know how much it means when I'm sitting here, and like yesterday an order came in and it was from Norway. I am not a weavy person. Oh my gosh, like what is this? Listen, I refuse. Compose yourself, girlfriend. I get an order that comes in and it's from Norway, and I'm just like, wow. I've had some come in from like Australia, and it's surreal where someone on the other side of the world would find out about the brand and then choose to support it, because the shipping ain't cheap. Like the shipping was more than what they purchased. So that means a lot to me. So thank you. Thank you to folks who have an audience and are choosing to support the brand publicly. Folks like Alexa Blake. Funny note, I've been watching her on YouTube like on and off for the past 10 years. Or it's probably even more. It feels like a lifetime. And I love her videos. She's like such this calming energy. You know, I would grab my cup of coffee, I'd sit there and watch, like, oh, let's see what she's getting into, and do her makeup. And there's just something so pleasant and just lovely about her. And if I ever met her in person, she just, to me, seems like someone that's like such an amazing, just awesome, loving friend. Like that's how she comes across. And since she supported the brand, I will say she bought the Tallow Cream Foundation, you know, on her own, tried it, genuinely liked it, and then started putting out videos. Since she started putting out videos, her followers then became my followers, and, you know, her supporters then became supporters of the brand. And all of that was organic and natural. And I just want to say thank you so much. Just a personal shout out to her for her support and just showing so much love to the brand. It means so much to such a small company like mine. And I'm just super thrilled that people like the formulas, or liking the products. You may not love everything, but I promise, you know, I promise I'm not just putting stuff out for the sake of putting it out and just saying, hey, I know it's garbage, but I'm putting it out anyway. Like my hope is that stuff really lands and it resonates with folks. And as the brand grows, I'll be able to include more products that are going to address broader issues or broader skin types, oily, etc., and kind of go from there. But anyway, I digress on that piece. This portion of the video is really intended to just say thank you to her, to all the customers, and just everyone who has ever shown me any love, send me a message, email. I read everyone, I respond to everyone. So thank you so much for your support.